Different generations of people here. There are older people who know the reality of the Nigerian state. The Nigerian state is a very brutal place. It's a place where anything can happen to you over the years and then people will just move on. There is an older generation that understands this, but then there is my generation that does not know. Because luckily for us, in 1998, we came out of military rule. And so for the majority of our lives, we have been out of a certain level of oppression. That is why with respect to conversations about Nigeria, because for 18 plus years, we have enjoyed what our parents have not enjoyed for most of their lives. And then the Shia massacre happened. For someone who is not a Shia Muslim, for me, humanity matters a lot. And so I had a lot of my friends, I actually did not know, yes, I would say that I did not know what Shia Islam was till the evangelism, that is what I like to call it, till the evangelism that happened that night. The brutal evangelism, that is what opened Shia Islam in Nigeria to many people. And so I was wondering, why would you go and kill this number of people? That was my own. Why? What is it? The first thing is, oh, they are terrorists. Yes, but children don't know terrorism. Why were children killed there? War usually comes for the men first. Why were women killed there? And then as the events kept on unfolding, you found out that this is the most brutal thing I've ever seen. And it happened to a group of people. Who are these group of people? That is why I call it evangelism. Because it led us to asking questions. Who are these people? They said, no, they are the ones that do Boko Haram. But Boko Haram attacks them regularly. How is this possible? Then you find out the ideologies are different. And then as you go on in Nigeria, you find out that the people that tell you that Shia Muslims are terrorists also support killings almost every other place in Nigeria. It's a very interesting fact. One of the things I said on the day this happened, because I was totally broken, I don't think I've recovered since then, was that brutality that is allowed to fester is always enough to go round. Brutality does not have limits. It's a cup that is overflowing. And another statement I'll make today is, and I stand on this statement anyway, is that the blood of Shia under this regime has cost the blood of over 100,000 Nigerians, so even to the army who attacked them. Because this past week, you see, let's start with how it works under a brutal regime. The first thing you do is, let me use the phrase, give a dog a bad name and then you hang it. And then you try to hide it. And when you allow that to happen to another person, it's always going to come back to happen to you. One who can kill 300, 1,000 in one sitting, it's really no problem. So we have this week, or the past week, the army has suffered great injustice in the hands of Boko Haram. And the army has had no one to speak for them. Because the people who are supposed to speak for the army, you see, in the first place, have been brutalized by the army. And it's not that people don't care, but because when the first one happened in Nigeria under this regime, we moved on. And we created a template for the tolerance of brutality in Nigeria, that anything can happen to a human life and we will move on. People cried for years that their children have been killed. They have bullets lodged in their bodies. We said nothing. Is that a nation that would honor its own soldiers? No. So we sit now, everybody with his or her own scars. Everybody in Nigeria is affected. Trailer blew up in Lagos. Any compensation for the family? No. The Middle Belt is on fire. Nothing. Pockets of places in the southwest, in the southeast, nothing. Because when it started with a certain group of people, we said that we don't know them. Their hijab is long to the ground. They wear socks. They don't vote, whatever the rumor was. We justified that one action. That one action and the justification of that one action has led us to this point. I also want to speak about other countries and talk about for a couple of weeks ago. He told me my country is being invaded. But anyone out of Syria you speak to will tell you that Assad is a bad man and so they are trying to remove Assad. But Assad is one man How come hundreds of thousands of these people are being killed, but one man is still there? It doesn't make any sense. You find out about Libya, you find out about all these things, and then you come back and you look at your country and you remember that the media's #1 job is to give a dog a bad name before you hang it. And so today I'm not particularly here for the older ones. There are young men and women here like myself. I'm still in my 20s, so there's no excuse for ignorance. That the battles that we fight, they are not easy battles, and most likely you may die fighting them. One thing I like about speaking in this gathering is that I see people who know that death is just an inch away, but they smile. It has taught me a lot of lessons. Between the last time that we met and now, I've lost family members, including my mother, who was the most special person to me. And I've seen that life is nothing. You come, you go. But your duty while you are here is to ensure that that which you were sent to do, you do it regardless. And that you do it standing firm. And that humans matter. You matter, I matter. The only person who gets to decide when we leave the world and how we leave the world is the Creator. And young people, no matter what, we don't know suffering. We don't know it like our fathers do. Their generation were forcefully beaten into submission, time and again. Talk to your parents. Sometimes you want to go out and your parents are like, no, don't do this. Sometimes you want to say something. It's a certain level of oppression that keeps them in a particular place. A generation that was oppressed by, what did they call the class of 63, ne? There's an entire generation oppressed like that we don't know. And we're still under that oppression. Prior to the attacks, you may not have thought you were under the oppression, but we are. And they will break our bones. We are small. We may not seem like we have power, but we do when we have numbers, and when we use our numbers well. There is no one that is inferior to fight a battle whose time has come, to support an idea whose time has come. Young ladies, I'm talking to you too. We all have our roles to play. That whoever tells us, threatens us with violence, we will not stand back for violence. We will not stand back for threats. Freedom is something that we must always fight for, and we must always stand for, because you do not fight for your freedom alone. You fight for the freedom of your children and their children after that. And this is what we must always stand on. Christian, Muslim, everyone. What I've learned from Shia Islam is not something I will lose anytime soon. It's a special kind of strength. And luckily for me, I learned it early on in the journey against this regime. Because I've seen my friends, Shoaibu is right before me. The stories are gory, but Shoaibu smiles through it all. I've seen women who have lost their children smile through it all. And I've learned, when I'm broken, I smile. But in that smile, our journey must continue, because Nigeria must fit us all. And then when they start that story that Shia Muslims are loyal to Iran, you would have to ask about certain relationships with Rome and Saudi Arabia. Why is it allowed for certain people and not allowed for others? We must always speak out, and we must reach out, because we are all one. If God does not want another group of people to exist, He will come and destroy them Himself. But God cares about humanity. He created everyone. So what we must do is always be united against oppression. I am glad for what I've learned under you people, and it has given me the strength to carry on. We must continue. Thank you very much.